Hi, and welcome to Mondays with Melissa. I'm Melissa Brett, co-owner of Weldon Hardware, your hometown hardware store. April showers not only brings flowers, but April is also the time to start thinking about your lawn. But before we get too far into spring, there are some lawn tasks that you may not realize should be done at this time of year, and well before your first lawn cut of the season. One of the most tedious tasks is probably one of the most important ones, getting all the sticks, pine cones, and acorns picked up and properly disposed of. This type of tree debris can not only change the soil composition that is adverse to spring grass growth, but can also cause damage to your lawnmower. Next, early spring is a perfect time to dethatch your lawn, when the soil is moderately moist and before the grass gets into full growing mode. You can either use a standard spring rake to get rid of all the dead grass or a special dethatching rake. You should feel and see the thatch separating from the soil. You can also rent a powered dethatcher that does the same work. Either way, you may be left with a lot of loose, dead grass that needs to be raked up. Another thing you may want to do is aerate. Lawn aeration, coring, and aerifying are different terms you might hear, but it's for the same procedure. If you have high traffic areas or heavy clay soil, you will want to aerate every year. If you have sandy soil or your lawn is growing well, aerating the lawn should happen every 2 to 3 years. The next step is to figure out the soil pH levels. Lawn soil that's too acidic can make it tough for grass to healthily grow and take in the necessary nutrients to be strong and thick. If you have a lot of acidic trees like evergreens or a lot of shade, your soil is more than likely high in acidity, usually resulting in a lot of moss. There are inexpensive soil testing kits available as well if you aren't sure about your pH levels. Lawns here in New England are considered cool season grass and prefer more alkaline soil. Applying lime or calcium carbonate is excellent for increasing the pH levels. This should be done annually. Lime or calcium carbonate comes in different forms, from pulverized lime, which you may need 5 to 10 40-pound bags for the average yard, to a concentrated pellet form, which one 50-pound bag can do the entire job. Whichever you use, definitely read the instructions for application, as if you apply too heavily, it can burn your lawn. Lime needs to be watered in to be effective, so plan on applying right before a spring rainstorm. Lastly, it's time to fertilize. If you're concerned about crabgrass and some weed prevention, spring is the time to prevent these weeds from seeding. Now, this step is tricky because the window of effectiveness is not based on air temperature, but soil temperature, which needs to be over 55 degrees. The rule of thumb on when to apply this first fertilizing step is when the local forsythia bushes are blooming and 2 weeks after that. Also, if you plan on planting any grass seed in the spring, you can't use the typical crabgrass preventer fertilizer product, often considered your first step, as this is a pre-emergent control for any grass seed. Now, if you have any questions about spring lawn care, come on down and don't hesitate to ask for guidance or advice. Thank you for watching this week's edition of Mondays with Melissa, and I can't wait to share more of us at Weldon Hardware with you at home.